Imagine a weapon so devastating that every nation on Earth agreed it should never be used again. Now imagine there are dozens of them. Throughout history, humanity has created weapons so horrific that even in the chaos of war, the international community drew a line and said, "This is too far." Today, we're examining 5 weapons that cross that line and were banned from the battlefield forever. War has always pushed the boundaries of human innovation, but not all innovations deserve to exist. As military technology advanced, so did our understanding of unnecessary suffering. The international community, through treaties like the Geneva Conventions and various protocols, has worked to establish rules of warfare that, while they can't eliminate the horrors of combat, attempt to reduce needless cruelty and protect both combatants and civilians. These bans aren't just symbolic gestures. They represent moments when the world collectively recognized that certain weapons inflict suffering beyond any legitimate military purpose. Let's explore 5 weapons that the world decided had no place on the modern battlefield. Chemical weapons. Our first weapon is perhaps the most infamous: chemical weapons. These include agents like chlorine gas, mustard gas, and nerve agents such as sarin and VX. Chemical weapons were first used on a massive scale during World War I, when German forces released chlorine gas at Ypres in 1915. The results were catastrophic. Soldiers died in agony, drowning in their own fluids as the gas destroyed their lungs. Mustard gas caused horrific blistering and blindness. By the war's end, chemical weapons had caused over 1 million casualties. The world was so horrified by these effects that the Geneva Protocol of 1925 banned the use of chemical and biological weapons in warfare. This was strengthened by the Chemical Weapons Convention of 1993, which prohibited the development, production, stockpiling, and use of chemical weapons. Why the ban? Chemical weapons are indiscriminate and cause prolonged, agonizing deaths. They can't distinguish between soldiers and civilians, and they cause suffering far beyond what's necessary to achieve military objectives. The international community recognized that the tactical advantages simply don't justify the humanitarian cost. Biological weapons. Closely related to chemical weapons are biological weapons, which use bacteria, viruses, or toxins to cause disease and death. While attempts to use disease as a weapon date back centuries, modern biological weapons became a serious concern in the 20th century. Countries developed agents like anthrax, plague, and smallpox for potential military use. The terrifying prospect of engineered pandemics that could spread uncontrollably made these weapons particularly dangerous. Biological weapons were banned under the same 1925 Geneva Protocol that outlawed chemical weapons, and further prohibited by the Biological Weapons Convention of 1972, which specifically banned their development and stockpiling. The reasoning behind this ban is clear. Biological weapons are inherently uncontrollable. Once released, diseases don't respect borders or distinguish between military and civilian populations. They could potentially kill millions and create global pandemics. The risk of catastrophic consequences, combined with the impossibility of targeting only enemy forces, made these weapons unacceptable to the international community. Anti-personnel landmines. Moving from weapons of mass destruction to a different category, anti-personnel landmines have killed and maimed countless civilians long after conflicts have ended. These weapons are designed to explode when a person steps on them or trips a wire. While used extensively throughout the 20th century, particularly in conflicts like the Vietnam War and various civil wars, landmines created a devastating legacy. Countries like Cambodia, Angola, and Afghanistan are still dealing with millions of unexploded mines decades after their wars ended. The Ottawa Treaty, officially known as the Mine Ban Treaty, was signed in 1997 and came into force in 1999. Over 160 countries have joined this agreement. Why ban landmines? These weapons continue killing long after wars end, primarily affecting civilians, especially children. They contaminate agricultural land, prevent reconstruction, and cause indiscriminate harm. A farmer plowing a field 10 years after a conflict shouldn't have to fear losing their leg to a forgotten weapon. The long-term humanitarian cost far outweighs any military benefit, which is why the world moved to eliminate them. Blinding laser weapons. In 1995, the international community took the unusual step of banning a weapon before it was ever widely used: permanent blinding laser weapons. As laser technology advanced in the 1980s and early 1990s, military forces began developing weapons specifically designed to blind enemy soldiers permanently. These lasers would cause irreversible damage to the retina, leaving victims sightless for life. Protocol 4 of the 1980 Convention on Certain Conventional Weapons, added in 1995, specifically prohibits the use of laser weapons designed to cause permanent blindness. This preemptive ban is remarkable. The international community recognized that deliberately causing permanent blindness constitutes unnecessary suffering. While losing eyesight might seem less severe than death, the protocol acknowledges that purposefully blinding someone goes beyond legitimate military necessity and inflicts a lifetime of disability. This ban represents a rare moment when the world acted to prevent a humanitarian crisis before it began. Expanding bullets. Our final weapon takes us back to 1899, expanding bullets, commonly known as dum-dum bullets. These projectiles are designed to expand or fragment upon impact with a target, creating massive internal wounds. Named after the dum-dum arsenal in India, where they were first produced, these bullets were used by British forces in colonial conflicts in the late 19th century. The Hague Convention of 1899 banned the use of bullets that expand or flatten easily in the human body. This was one of the first international agreements limiting weapons based on the suffering they cause. The ban exists because expanding bullets cause wounds far more severe than necessary to incapacitate an enemy combatant. A regular bullet might pass through tissue, causing relatively contained damage, but expanding bullets create massive wound cavities, shatter bones extensively, and cause unnecessary suffering. The international community determined that while shooting an enemy soldier may be a necessity of war, causing them maximum pain and damage is not. These 5 weapons represent crucial moments when humanity looked at the tools of war and decided that some lines must not be crossed. From the gas-choked trenches of World War I to the foresight that prevented widespread laser blinding, these bans show that even in the darkest circumstances of armed conflict, there remains a shared human conscience. It's worth noting that these treaties aren't perfect. Some nations haven't signed all agreements, enforcement can be challenging, and violations still occur. But these international laws matter. They establish norms, create accountability, and save lives. They remind us that even war has rules, and that humanity at its best can recognize and reject cruelty for cruelty's sake. As technology continues to advance, new questions emerge about autonomous weapons, cyber warfare, and other innovations. The decisions made about these weapons will define the conflicts of tomorrow. Understanding the weapons we've already banned helps us navigate these future challenges with wisdom learned from past suffering. If this video helped you understand the complex intersection of warfare, technology, and international humanitarian law, please subscribe for more content exploring the fascinating and sobering lessons of military history. Knowledge about our past helps us build a more thoughtful future.